Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of November 13th through November 17th. We're in part 2 of our weekly trading game plan. We will be selecting our top swing trading stocks to watch, stocks to put in our bullpen. We'll talk about our shopping list. We'll also look at dividend payers and some option strategies to generate, also a couple different ways to also generate income while we wait for our top swing trading stocks to set up appropriately. Welcome, Brian Moritz, MD, Flip of the Shippa. Thank you all for joining us today in the live chat. Glad to see you. Hope you all are doing well. So let's get started. So here's our Google document with our notes for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of November 13th through November 17th. We keep our notes for our weekly trading game plans in publicly accessible Google documents. You can find a direct link to this Google document in the description box below. If you haven't already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, titled Trade Ideas and Trading Strategies, we would highly recommend you also view part 1. You can do so via the link or also find it on our BeachBum Trading YouTube channel. Part 1 of our weekly trading game plans contains our market analysis, trade ideas, trading strategies, etc. For this trading week. So again, we'd highly recommend you also view part 1, as there are additional trade ideas in part 1 as well. We keep all of our notes for our weekly trading game plans in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder, so you can find, you can refer back to the notes for this week, previous weeks, etc. in that publicly accessible Google Drive folder, and you can find a direct link to that Google Drive folder in the description box below. Welcome, Sydney Osborne, the Ricky Khan. Thank you for joining us in live chat today. Hope you all are doing well. Easy Mike, good to see you again. So firstly, we'll review some of our trades from the past week, and then we'll look at the charts in Webull for these trades. So the first one, we got stopped out of our latest long position in JEPI, JEPI, which is a dividend payer on the S&P. We had entered into JEPI on the 27th at 51.81. We got stopped out on the 8th at 53.45. So we got a nice profit, over 3% ROI. So that equates to a monthly ROI of about 8%. Congratulations to all of our fellow BeachBum traders who profited on this swing or scalp trade on JEPI. And as you'll see, we'll be looking for opportunities again to enter JEPI. And we'll look when we get to dividend payers, we'll see the ex-dividend dates for these various dividend payers, as that may determine when we want to enter. The second trade is we had on land, which is a REIT on farmland. We had entered into a long position on land on the 26th at 1371. We got stopped out on 11/6 at 1451 for a nice profit, almost 6%. So that equates to a monthly ROI of about 16% on the price appreciation on land. We didn't collect any dividends this month, although land's dividends only like 5 cents. So we really play land for price appreciation more so than the dividend. Again, congratulations to all of our fellow BeachBum traders who profited on this swing or scalp trade on land. And again, this will be another one we'll watch to see if we can get another entry point in land. Again, we've been talking about real estate and some of the REITs that we like, and as you can see, we've profitably traded a couple of these. If they come back down, as we'll see, we'll look for opportunities to re-enter. The other one is Realty Income. We got stopped out of our latest long position in Realty Income. We had entered on the 27th at 49.01, right before they announced that merger announcement, and it dropped pretty dramatically. And then bounced back. So hopefully some of you were able to get those even cheaper shares in Realty Income. It did become profitable again, and then we'll see it rolled over. We got stopped out on the 9th at 1535 for a profit with about 3%. equates to a monthly profit of about 6%, and we did collect the November dividend. So we got in before the ex-dividend date for November, collected that dividend, got 3% price appreciation in addition to that dividend, and we'll be looking for opportunities to re-enter in O. I believe the next ex-dividend date on Realty Income is 11/30 or November 30th. So again, congratulations to all of our fellow BeachBum traders who also profited on this scalper swing trade in Realty Income. And again, if you got in after that merger announcement when it dropped precipitously, you could have made significantly more. And again, we're looking for opportunities to re-enter O. But again, possibly before the next ex-dividend date at the end of the month. The other one is wheat. We looked at the futures of wheat. We talked about wheat before. WEAT is the long ETF on wheat, and we got kind of shaken out of that trade. We had entered in on the 1st at about 5.69 or so. We got shaken out on the 7th at about 5.72. We saw in the futures yesterday, it made that little dip, looked like it might roll over, and then jumped back up on Thursday, Friday. So if you were able to not get shaken out in this trade, again, you may still be riding that for further profits. Just FYI, again, some of you know we were traveling this week. So it's, part of our trading while traveling. I'm a little conservative, put in stop losses to protect our profits when I'm away from the desk. And this was a case where, we wanted to make sure it didn't roll over and go negative on us. And again, we got shaken out and missed out on some potential profits. Again, wheat too is difficult to trade. It's kind of choppy, gaps up, gaps down. But we'll look for other opportunities. I was watching the level 2, I think on Friday or so, and we'll see 5.51 seems to be a support area, and then there's the 52-week low. So again, we'll see if we can catch a dip again on wheat. So again, congratulations to anyone who has profited or is profiting on this trade in wheat. Yes, Flip. Yeah, I agree. Wheat is tough to trade. Again, it's choppy. Does gap, occasionally. So I do watch the level 2s to try to guess supports, but it is difficult. Just a quick reminder, if you'd like to get real-time trade alerts when we enter or exit a trade, you can get email notification of our entry points and exit points on any trade by joining any level of our Patreon. You can find a link to our Patreon in the description box below. I try to send out email notifications to our Patreons as quickly as possible when we enter or exit a trade. Also, our Patreon members have access to a couple alerts channels in our Discord. So the first is a Thinkorswim alerts channel. I also set up price alerts in Thinkorswim. When those get triggered, they get automatically posted to this Thinkorswim alerts channel, and then if we follow that up with an actual trade, then I will reply to that in the Thinkorswim alerts channel, so you can see when it was triggered, our stop in on Realty Income, and then I replied with our actual trade on Realty Income when we got stopped out. If it's a trade that's not directly related to a Thinkorswim trade alert, then we post those in the trade alerts channel. So you can see when we got stopped out of wheat, that was again not something that was triggered from a Thinkorswim trade alert, but something that we entered ourselves. So again, I don't recommend you blindly follow us or anyone else into or out of trades, but if this will help you make money trading, help you succeed in your trading career, to see when we enter and exit trades, you can again get that information by joining any low level of our Patreon. So now we'll jump over to Webull and take a look at the charts for those trades. Let me grab a quick drink, and again, we'll look at those trades in Weeble. Okay, so here's the chart on JEPI. So we got in on the 27th, out on the 8th. So we got in on this dip. You can see we didn't necessarily get the lowest price, but pretty close. Rode this up to the plateau. Then when it kind of dipped in on the 8th, we got stopped out. Again, part of my conservativeness during this week was that we were traveling away from our desk, didn't want to give the profits back. So if the markets was going to roll over, again, we got those Powell comments, got a little negative reaction on the 8th. And then again, I guess the Powell comments were probably the 9th. So just on that little dip, I got stopped out, which, I got more profit than I would have got on the 9th. And then it bounced back on Friday. All the markets had that exuberant run on Friday. So again, we'll see what happens this week if we get a negative reaction out of CPI or PPI. We talked about yesterday. Maybe we'll get a chance to re-enter on JEPI, and we'll look. And I think the ex-dividend dates on JEPI and JEPQ are like the first of the month. Here's our trade on land. So we got in on land on the 26th, out on the 6th. So again, you can see we got in a little bit high. It dipped down a little bit lower. So now the 52-week low is about 1335. Had this nice run up. When it rolled over, we got stopped out, took our profits. Again, you can see it's descended. Real estate got beat up end of the week after it had that nice run last week. So again, if we get a little bit of a dip further in land down, in this 1350 or so area, then we'll again look to go long land. Again, we're more interested in the price appreciation. You can see when it runs nicely. We do get these gap downs, so it's a little choppy, a little difficult. Realty income, again, we got in on the 27th before the ex-dividend date at 49.01, out on the 9th at 50.35. So again, we got in right before they announced that merger, but this was also the ex-dividend date. So again, we wanted to get in before the ex-dividend, so we'll get their 25-cent dividend. Then they announced that merger. It was very negatively received, dumped. So if you got these cheap shares at 45 or below, again, you made significantly more profit. Then it's recovered back up above that 50 level, and then it's kind of gone flat. So we'll see if we get a rollover back below 50 in realty income. I'd like to get, that 49 area or below if I can. So again, we'll see if we get to push down in realty income. Here's wheat, again, pretty choppy. We got in on the 1st, out on the 7th. So we got in, in this flat area, the support area, we got in. So again, any 550s, there seems to be support. 571 seems to be another level in the level twos. But again, it's pretty choppy. And then when it rolled over on the 7th, we got stopped out, and then it bounced back up subsequently. And it looks like it's trying to come back down. So we'll see, if we get in again, 571, 551, take that opportunity. I think the recent low, 555 is the most recent low. So now we'll talk about our top swing trading stocks to watch list. First, I'll talk about some of the updates, additions, deletions from our top swing trading stocks to watch list, and then again, we'll go look at the charts in Webull. So firstly, we're going to take both DISH and SATS, SATS, EchoStar Corporation off of our watch list. I actually removed those on the 6th as they both dumped on poor earnings. DISH announced extremely poor earnings. It's like their worst earnings in like 25 years. They're losing a ton of money. We talked last week about a potential merger arbitrage. I forget the guy's name now, but he owns both DISH and EchoStar SATs, and he wants to merge the two together. It wasn't received very well because DISH has been losing money, losing subscribers due to cord cutting, streaming, etc. But it looked like there might be a merger opportunity, and then they announced earnings, and it was terrible. So both DISH and SATs dumped. DISH more so than SATs. But again, I'm taking both of those off the watch list. I'm not really interested in either one of them at this point. I thought maybe SATs might get a more of a bounce or recovery, but they also missed on earnings, although they are still profitable. They did announce a significant earnings miss, and it dumped on that earnings and didn't bounce back very effectively. Actually, I'm going to go, let's go look at that in FinViz. I'll show you that quick dump on earnings, another trick in a new feature in FinViz. So we see on earnings, here's a new feature that's kind of nice in FinViz. As you see now, the little red and green arrows on their earnings reports. And if you click on those red or green arrows, it will show their reported and estimated earnings and revenue, and also whether they surprise to the upside or downside. So again, we see SATs missed on earnings. It was expected to be 15-cent positive. It was only 4, so they missed. Their revenue was expected to be 479. It was only 413, so they missed on both the top line and the bottom line. And again, it dumped and didn't really bounce after that. So it wasn't just DISH, it was also SATs. And so again, I'm not interested in either one of those anymore. Even though if the merger didn't go through, that might be a positive for SATs. I think that the fact that they're both effectively owned by the same individual, I think he's going to push for that merger to occur. And I think DISH is going to be a significant drag on SATs going forward. So I hope that all helps. Again, we're going to add land back into our watch list as we got stopped out. We're going to add Realty Income back into our watch list as we got stopped out of that. So we'll try to get a re-entry in both of those. We saw real estate, got beaten down, sector rotation out of real estate. So again, if it continues to get beaten down for a few more days, we might get good entry points in some of the REITs. Again, we're watching land, and we'll point out some of the others. And then also WEAT. Again, we talked about, we got stopped out of that. We'll look for another re-entry point in WEAT. So we'll jump over to the charts in a minute and look at those top swing trading stocks to watch lists. We've already covered most of them. Actually, I think I've covered all of them. So we've already looked at land, and WEAT. So we can continue. Just a quick reminder, if you would like to get additional information on our top swing trading stocks to watch list, as well as our bullpen stocks, including price targets, ex-dividend dates, dividend percent yield, etc. We automatically generate a web page at the end of each day containing our current watch list, our current bullpen stocks, including price targets, etc. And you can get access to that web page by joining any level of our Patreon. And then if I make any changes subsequent to after that web page has been generated, then I would post those changes in the stock watch list channel in our Discord. And again, any level of our Patreon will give you access to that automatically generated web page and the stocks watch list channel in our Discord. So again, if it would help you make money trading, succeed in your trading career, to get that additional information, more frequent updates to our watch list, you can get any of that by joining any level of our Patreon. And again, you can find a link to our Patreon in the description box below. So let me grab a quick drink and we'll talk about our bullpen stocks. Again, the concept of the bullpen stocks are ones we're not necessarily watching real time. Their setup isn't quite what we'd like, but it looks like they might have an attractive setup in the near future. So I just revisit this list at the end of each day. If their setup has improved, I put them in the game, move them up to our top swing trading stocks to watch list. If they break down or run away, then we just take them out of the bullpen and we can revisit them again in the future. So just a second, then we'll go through our updates to our bullpen stocks for this week. Okay, so the first one is CPSH, CPS Technologies Corporation. We added this to the bullpen last week. We did a little bit of a quick due diligence and a little bit deeper investigation into CPSH. It's electronic components. Looks like a possible turnaround play. Again, you can hear more details about our analysis of CPSH in last week's part 2 weekly trading game plan video. DRN, again, we've been watching real estate, looking for that overall turn in real estate, and the long on real estate is DRN. We talked yesterday, if you want to play shorter term trades with these sector rotations in and out of real estate, a DRV is the short, which is the counterpart leveraged ETF to DRN. Talked about JEPI, again, as we saw in the chart. It's still pretty high relative to where we'd like to get in, so I put it in the bullpen rather than in the top swing trading stocks to watch list. If we do again get a kind of dip in the market, a significant correction, we'll be looking to jump into JEPI. LTC is another REIT we've had in our bullpen for a while. It's on healthcare facilities, senior living facilities. It's still a little higher than where I'd like, but this is another REIT that we've been watching for some time to possibly play specific themes in the real estate market. MJ is a ETF on essentially cannabis. The other popular one is MSOS. We scalped that a little while back profitably. We're looking for opportunities again if cannabis that comes down and then we get a catalyst, some kind of legislation that's positive catalyst. There might be opportunities in MJ or MSOS. Again, MP Materials we've been watching for quite some time. They reported earnings, had some headwinds. Rare earth prices were down. It has continued to decline. We're just waiting for it to find a bottom. Looks like it's gotten pretty cheap. If you want to hear more of why we like MP, you can hear more about our thesis behind MP Materials in this due diligence video, which you can find in the link in the notes or also on our BeachBum Trading YouTube channel. TNA, we've been talking about our actual RETL. I just saw Easy Mike talking about retail. We've been talking about these seasonal trends going into the end of the year. One of those trends is retail tends to be positive to the end of the year, and it's a little bit high. Other people are jumping into that earlier. So well-known trend. So we're watching RETL. Again, the trigger would be a support or bottom in XRT. So maybe if we get bad earnings out of some of the retailers, we've got retail sales data coming up this week. If we get a dip, we'd look for an opportunity to go long retail using RETL. Similarly, we've been talking about seasonal trend in small caps. So in the IWM, the Russell 2000, we saw the Russell did not participate in the exuberant rally as much on Friday. And has been weak. So we'll see if we get an opportunity to catch a bottom in the Russell and small caps and ride that towards the end of the year. Again, one of the risks, however, we'll be talking about in the coming weeks is tax loss harvesting, and we'll start running into that risk probably end of November, early December. We'll have to watch out for tax loss harvesting. But more so in individual small cap stocks than the overall Russell. But again, there will be downward pressure due to tax loss harvesting on the Russell in general. So Easy Mike is talking about a China trade. Yeah, we talked yesterday about the upcoming meeting with Xi and Biden. Possible a positive catalyst for China, and we looked at the ETFs yesterday. So long China with yen, YINN, short China with yang. I haven't seen the Crow this morning, but I guess he has a thesis to long yen on Fridays, and then go long yang or short China later on Mondays. He says that's been working out quite well. So now we'll jump over to the charts to look at our bullpen charts in Webull. Just a quick reminder, if you're not already using Webull, they're still offering at least up to 6 free stocks if you open and fund an account in Webull. As you can see, we use Webull for our market analysis, our due diligence, the majority of our trading. They're also offering 5% interest on your uninvested cash in a cash account. And again, if you're not already using Webull, we would recommend it. And if you'd use our affiliate link in the description box below, you'll get your free stocks as well as help support our BeachBum trading community, which we greatly appreciate. So another nice feature of Webull, and if I have time, I'll show you another. Well, actually, I'll show you that now. Another nice feature if you're trading while traveling. When I'm traveling, I typically don't run Thinkorswim because I only bring 2 laptops, and so I'm utilizing Webull more so. So I'll show you a nice feature I'm using now in Webull. Is I set up another watch list called Watch Charts, and for just the charts that I'd like to watch, so very similar to a grid view in Thinkorswim. Actually, if you go to the watch list tab, see I set up watch charts. I've only got 4 stocks in there, and then if you hit this grid view, you'll actually be able to watch those charts separately. So you could see on Friday I was specifically watching Land, MP. We still belong in Disney. It got a little bit of a pop after earnings. Also, I think that's Realty Income. So a nice feature again in Webull is you can use this grid view, flip back to the list view very quickly and easily. So again, another nice feature. And again, when you're traveling, Webull's a much lighter weight platform than Thinkorswim. So again, I thought that was a nice feature that I utilized while we were traveling. So I hope that helps. Good morning, Walter Lyons. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. MD says he also likes Webull for options. I pointed this out too yesterday, but again, I'm using the online browser version of Webull, and they just added an options trader feature in the online browser version. I used to also have to run the desktop version to actually do set up the options trades. So again, I'll try to do a more detailed video at some point about how to use the options trader features in the online browser version, but something you can check out. Again, it seems to be pretty useful. I was able to check, some of the puts we'll talk about when we get to our option strategies in a second. So back to my bullpen, we'll just quickly whip through the charts in our bullpen. So again, here's CPSH, kind of, been downtrending. We're waiting for that to find a bottom, possibly swing back up. Might have to wait till their next earnings, as they I think they lost money the previous earnings. Again, kind of a low float, choppy, but again, a potential turnaround play. DRN is again on real estate. We saw that big run up last week or so in real estate. Now it kind of rolled over. We'll see if we get a significant decline back down in real estate. And again, this would be the whole real estate sector. And XLRE is the spider on real estate. So you'd want to watch the bottom on that XLRE real estate sector to determine, potential entry point into DRN. And again, you could short real estate with DRV. Here's JEPI. We looked at that. We'd like, on a correction, it comes down. LTC, again, this is a REIT on medical facilities, hospitals, senior living. So again, I'd like it a little bit cheaper. It's been kind of, pretty flat. MJ, we see the recent low is 264, ran up on some potential change in schedule and the DEA, and then it's been kind of flat. So we'll see if we get a pullback in MJ to re-enter. MP Materials, again, just steadily kind of trailing off. When it does bounce, it bounces pretty quickly, but we're still seeing, lower highs, lower lows, making new lows. So I'm not really sure yet, where the bottom in MP is, but again, it's getting pretty cheap because it's got, plenty of upside up into the near 30s, 25s, and then, 30, 36. So see that, long term just trailing off, downtrending. Retail, again, on the yearly chart, we see that recent bounce that rolled over. So there's significant bounce. The recent low about 483 or so. It ran up, rolled over. Question is if we're going to get a further correction back down. Again, possibly on the retail sales data or possible retailer reporting poor earnings. Maybe we'll be able to catch a quick decline in RETL. Again, XLR is the retail spider. XRT. So you see, I've got that in my bullpen just so I can watch it. XRT is the spider on retail. So again, we want to see the bottom of XRT to determine our entry point into RETL. And then TNA, again, this is the Russell 2000. So IWM would be the spider or essentially the index that you'd be watching. Again, we saw a bottom end of October, ran up, rolled over. Again, we'll see if we get some kind of correction. We might be able to get a nice entry into essentially IWM, the Russell 2000, and then, ride that trend again. I would only ride it into early December. I think tax loss harvesting is going to have a negative effect on the Russell in general. So I would be watching closely for a rollover early December, in December sometime. Okay. Another thing we started last week was a topic called honorable mention stocks, and Last week we looked at a gold miner, essentially a gold stock called SAND, S-A-N-D. Had another gold miner pop up this week. Again, you can hear last week why I'm not particularly interested in adding more gold miners to our watch list, etc. As we have significant holdings in a number of gold miners. But I wanted to point another one out that popped up in our queries as a profitable gold miner that you might be interested in. And we can take a quick do some quick due diligence on AU, Anglo Gold Ashty PLC. It's a British gold miner. So we see it popped up as, when gold, dumped this week. This AU significantly declined. You can see it's getting close to a support. They do have earnings on the 9th, so that may have an impact, and you may want to wait till after their earnings. See, they make a significant amount of money. See, they're profitable. They make $39 million. It does pay a small dividend, 1.7%. It is optionable. Most of the miners have debt. Theirs isn't excessive. The PE, their current PE is pretty high. Forward PE is much lower. You see it's got a significant amount of shares. You see the target price about 20. The 52-week low is 14.91, so you can see it's pretty close to that. If we zoom out a little bit, see it's got upside up into the 30s, so potential for 2-to-1 return. Downside, the low is maybe 11, 12. So, maybe $3 downside, $15 upside. So a nice looking risk reward return. See corporate restructuring. So sounds like they're cutting cost. It looks like they're listed in the top 20 mining companies. You can see they have operations and exploration, gold mining, Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Congo, Ghana, Tanzania. Again, we can see, significant revenue. The EPS is positive, although it significantly declined recently, so that would explain the decline. Revenue looks reasonably stable. And again, their EBITDA looks, not too bad, pretty stable. So again, another gold miner stock I wanted to point out to you as something that might potentially be of interest. Again, they're profitable, don't have too much debt, looks like a pretty decent risk reward. So again, if you're looking for individual gold miners, last week we talked about SAND, S-A-N-D. This week we're presenting AU. So again, if you're interested in gold miners, AU might be one that you might want to consider. Okay. Again, the concept of shopping list stocks, if you're new to our community, we always recommend that you have your shopping list ready of stocks you wanted to own or buy in case we get a quick market correction, in case they dump on earnings. Again, if you get an irrational reaction due to earnings, have your shopping list ready. Again, we just recommend that you avoid zombies, zombie stocks, zombie companies, zombie ETFs. Unprofitable. Again, I'm not terribly interested in companies losing money. Not to say their stock might not go up. or that they're, headed for bankruptcy like Carvana or WeWork or something like that. Again, you can day trade their stock, make money, but just don't get stuck in a zombie stock or with a zombie company, etc. So again, none of this is financial advice. We're not financial advisors. This is all for education and hopefully some level of entertainment purposes only. So next we'll look at some of the dividend stocks. We've talked about a number of them. We'll point out those ex-dividend dates. So we'll bring up our dividend payer Google sheet. Again, this is what we use. I spin through this every day to look for potential trade ideas, opportunities to get into a dividend payer so we can collect dividends while we wait for other swing trades to manifest themselves. And again, you can get access to this dividend payers Google sheet as well as our puts ROIC that we'll cover in a few minutes, and the ETF Google sheet that we covered yesterday by joining our Patreon at the all access or VIP level. So again, you can use this to help you generate a schedule of dividend payers that meet your income, criteria, your preference, and your risk reward profiles that you'd like. We also have a whole series of videos on how you can use this dividend payers Google sheet to generate your schedule of dividend income payers. And you can access that series of videos via the link in the notes. You can also find them again on our BeachBum Trading YouTube channel titled How to Find the Best Dividend Paying Stocks. So if anyone in the chat has a particular dividend payer you want to look at, please throw that back up in the chat. We'll try to look at those. I'll point out some of the ones we've already talked about. Here's AU we just looked at. So you can see AU pays a quarterly dividend, 4 cents. Looks like the last one was in August, so I would expect the next one in end of November. But again, it's a small yield, and it's more the price appreciation opportunity in AU. I think Easy Mike and others play Bill as a short-term treasuries. You can see where that's sitting right now. Talked about gold and silver. Monthly dividend payer we have a sizable position in is GLDI. You can see it pays, currently 12.6. Next ex-dividend on GLDI and SLVO is November 20th. So if you want to buy GLDI, something to hold, generate dividends, since gold doesn't really pay a dividend or appreciate. Way you can make money on holding gold is with GLDI or silver, SLVO. And again, on those dips, if you're interested, those are ways to again generate dividends on gold. Some of the gold miners, again, we saw AU do pay a dividend. Talked about JEPI and JEPQ. So you can see looks like the next ex-dividend date for those will probably be around the 1st of December. So they pay, they go ex-dividend at the beginning of the month. You can see JPI is currently paying 36, JPQ 42. But you can see the risk reward profile in JEPI is currently much better. And again, this is one to hold and collect the dividends, make some money on price appreciation, but not significant price appreciation. Talked about land. Again, land only pays a 5-cent dividend. Looks like it's going to go ex-dividend on the 15th of December again. Again, we're interested in land much more for the price appreciation than the dividend itself, because that dividend's less than 5%. LTC pays a monthly dividend as well. Most of these REITs, the nice thing is they pay a monthly dividend, so you can scalp them, short-term swing them. We've talked about NSA and PSA in the past. Again, it's still a little high on public storage. If those come down again, we might be interested again in that. Realty Income. Again, it goes ex-dividend at the end of the month, so the next will be 11/30. Pays about 25 cents a month, but again, we're interested more so in the price appreciation than just the 25 cents. But it's nice to get the 25 cents a month while you're waiting for it to swing back up. Easy Mike's mentioning SAR. So here's SAR again. This is the asset manager. Pays a quarterly. Looks like it went ex-dividend on 9/13, so about December 13. Paid 71 cents a quarter. So you can see it's pretty nice yield, almost 12%. Some price appreciation. Currently, it's the risk reward's not too bad. Again, we mentioned SLVO, so if you're looking for to catch that dip on silver and generate a dividend on silver, SLVO is what we hold. We've talked about TLT, TLTW, so we did see a little bit of a recovery in dividend yields, so prices dipped a little bit. So if you're looking for a position and generate some dividends on treasuries, TLT, you can compare the dividend yield and the adjusted yield between TLT and TLTW. Pick the one that's more attractive to you. Keep TROX is one we've looked at in the past, but currently they're unprofitable, so I'm not interested in that one. I think Easy Mike mentioned UAN the other day or yesterday as a potential agricultural input stock. It pays a pretty nice dividend, $1.55 a quarter, so high dividend yield quarterly. You can see where it is right now, so it's a little high right now. So you can see the risk reward profile, the potential price appreciation, etc. on UAN. USOI we mentioned yesterday, again as a play on oil that pays a dividend on oil. Again, oil declined below 80. If it continues to decline, I'd be interested, once it gets down below 70, we'd start looking at buying a chunk of USOI again. Other popular ones, VOO, VTI, you can find all those in here as well. So again, I hope that all helps. Again, if anybody else has a dividend payer you'd like to look at, I'll leave this up and we can jump back and look at those. Let's see if I put anybody in the ad sheet this week. Not sure. I might be looking at this MBB. We'll talk about that in the future. We talked about Coke and Pepsi last week. Okay, so let me grab a quick drink and we'll talk about our option strategies. Good morning, Born to Be Free. Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you again. Okay, we've also got a couple option strategies we also use in addition to our dividend payers to generate income while we're looking for potential swing trading opportunities. We sell covered calls against our existing positions. When stocks are going up, buy them back when it's coming back down. We sell puts, in our case, cash secured puts when stocks are going down, buy them back when they're going back up. And we use our puts ROIC Google Sheet to help us identify potential opportunities for selling those puts. So again, if you're interested in utilizing that strategy of selling puts, buying them back to generate additional income, you can also get access to this puts ROIC Google Sheet. Use this to help you, again, generate income selling and buying back puts by joining our Patreon at the All Access or VIP level. So we'll take a quick look at potential opportunities in that puts ROIC Google Sheet. I don't have any additions for this week. You can also hear a number of videos we have on how you can utilize this puts ROIC, how it's constructed, how you can utilize it to generate income selling and buying back puts in the link to our option strategies for beginners series, option strategies for beginners with examples. We also have additional videos in our options playlist about how you can use options to also make money trading. Again, with the VIX, the VIX came down in the 14s, low 14s now. So a lot of the volatility, a lot of the premium, got decreased. So there aren't a whole lot of very attractive opportunities in puts. Also, we had that exuberant rally on Friday. So you can see, most of the main stocks we have in our puts watch list are went up, so they're red. So red means the stock's going up. Not interested in buying a put when it's going up. We have a couple that went down. Disney, again, Disney did recover. Also, I updated the expiration date. We have options expiration for October now and Friday. So we're using a 40-day window. Now that is extended to December. So I've updated most of the expiration dates on these puts to the December 15th expiration date. Try to see if we get a better premium. As you can see, premiums are pretty low. So again, nothing terribly attractive in our main watch list at this time. We get a little bit of bounce in the VIX, maybe the premiums will become more attractive. And again, you can track these, track the stock prices in the white columns. At the end of each day, we have automated systems that collect this options data. And at the end of the day, we'll update the gray column. So again, at the end of each day, I'll go through this list and see if, tomorrow there's something we want to watch for an opportunity to sell puts on. We have a lot more stocks that we've done research on in the past. And again, we do collect this data and update this at the end of the day. You see there are some that are attractive. Typically, though, like Albemarle is below the strike. If you want to play a rebound in Albemarle, you think it'll bounce back up over 120, possibly a return on invested capital you could generate by selling that put. I'm not comfortable that they're going to necessarily recover, and I don't really want to be assigned. It's pretty expensive if you want to cash secure it. Again, I'm not confident that it's not going to decline further. Some others we've talked about, Dollar General, Dollar Tree. Again, the ROIC, the return on invested capital, is not that high. Ford, again, it's below the strike. Moderna also has been, significant decline. We've talked about that, and that's not really a 5% or better ROIC. This guy, I think, is a semiconductor company. Again, ROIC is pretty low. And Target, again, ROIC is not that great. But again, if you're interested in any of these, you can, see what the return on invested capital is, etc. daily. And risk reward profile, the potential profit on these puts. And again, if you'd like us to do research on any subsequent put options, just let us know. You can put it in the comments to this video. You can contact us in our Discord. Again, our Discord's free to join with the exception of the couple channels I pointed out. It's free to join. You can tag us in the Discord and let us know, any stocks you want us to do due diligence on, or if you want us to research puts, if you want us to research it as a dividend payer, just let us know. We can plug those in, have our systems collect the data, and then we'll review those in the future. You can also find the free invite to our Discord on our homepage, beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U, as well as links to all of our social media sites. So you can also always contact us via our social media sites and ask us any questions or, again, any stocks you want us to look at or do research on. Okay, so that's why I had MBB and the dividend payers. As Easy Mike mentioned MBB last week, which is iShares MBS ETF. So I put that, I did the research on that iShares MBS, so we can look at the chart of that real quickly. And then look at the dividend payment information. That's their homepage, okay. So here's MBB, that iShares MBS. You see the current price, 52-week. You can see, risk reward currently. It's about even. Looks like it pays a 20-cent dividend. So it's about a 3.5% yield. And again, we'll look at the chart. Again, you can access the charts for any of these via the link generated in the notes. So it looks like it recently bounced. Again, you can see the ex-dividend dates, past ex-dividend dates, and the dividend paid now in FinViz by clicking on the dividends. Again, this was a recent enhancement in FinViz. So we see it recently bounced up to these moving averages. Look like it got rejected a little bit. So it recently bounced, pretty strongly. And 3.5%, $3 yearly dividend. It is optionable. It's investment grade mortgage-backed pass-through securities guaranteed by government agencies. So I'm not real hip on mortgage-backed securities, as you've heard. But we can see, again, it did bounce, and that may have been the decline in the 10-year yield and subsequently decrease in the mortgage rates that would benefit them. So if you're interested in MBS, and again, Easy Mike might have a more thesis or more basis for why you might be interested in MBS. So I hope that all helps. And again, if you'd like us to look at anything, just let us know. Also, we'd love to hear your feedback on how we can improve our weekly trading game plans to add more value for all of our fellow BeachBum traders. Also, how can we improve any of our other video content, our systems, our Google Sheets, our community, etc. So please let us know, what improvements can we make to add more value for all of our fellow BeachBum traders, as that is our goal, to help you have a community. We want to have a helpful community like we think we have. You can see a great group of traders in the chat, in our Discord, etc. And we can, again, continue these discussions, 24/7 in our Discord. So we hope you like this content. We hope you'll smash the like button on your way out and help share this content with your fellow traders. Again, if you smash the like button, hopefully the YouTube algorithm will share our content with more of our fellow BeachBum traders around the world, help us continue to grow our community for, again, everyone's mutual benefit. So again, thank you all for watching, participating. We greatly appreciate it. And we wish you good luck and great trading for the week of November 13th through November 17th. And we hope we'll see you all back here next weekend for our weekly trading game plans. Thank you all again. Have a great trading week.